Right, last time we had a shoot going, but our issue was the shoot was, we couldn't do rapid shoot or anything like that. So I was going to introduce cloning. Now, cloning is something that initially I found hard, but when I got my head around how it actually works and what it wants, it's not so bad. So, essentially, when I start as a clone, then you basically do all its clone behavior, which would be not when space key pressed, because when we press the space key, that's when we want to start as a clone. So if I take that part and then chuck that in there, we'll say when we start as a clone, go to the player, point direction, move so it's lined up right, show, do its repeating thing, and then in this case we're not going to hide. We want to delete the clone. Scratch can handle quite a few clones, but when the clone number gets over 40 to 50, it struggles or it stops creating clones, so we don't exactly want that. This we want to hide for sure. One thing you can get an issue with clone is when you tell the original to be on screen plus add clones to it, what you can get the effect of is that you get one added on the screen, and then when you add the next clone you don't get one more added, you get two more added, and then when you add another clone, instead of getting another two added, you get another four added, and it kind of does that doubling thing. So more often than not I tend to actually get something else to tell the other thing to clone. So I get rid of all that, and I've dropped this in here, and I've basically said if space key pressed, then I'm going to say create clone of, not myself, but of ball. Now if I hit play, I can run, and now I can literally do a beam of ball or press. So I probably want to put a slight delay in there so that way it doesn't turn into a big beam of death. So if I put a wait, and I'm not patient enough to wait 1 second, but something like probably 0.2, if we test that, if I hold it down, that's okay. Maybe test 0.1, then we should be able to, yeah, it's a pretty rapid shoot there. So then going from that to the ball, you know, everything's all pretty hunky-dory and that all works pretty well. The only issue you may have, let's see if we test we run and shoot, you can see how the run light lags out. The reason being is it's trying to run this forever, it's trying to do this and that, the two ifs at the same time, so it kind of alternates, and it just kind of, so that's where the lag comes in. So if I take this out and make another, because you can actually make quite a lot of these, and it doesn't seem to, Scratch doesn't seem to be too stressed about it, then they can both run simultaneously because we've got two separate loops running for it now. So now I can go and I can run. It looks a bit weird because the bullets go the same speed as the cat, so if I change the bullet speed up to not get that weird look going on, so I don't know, 18, just a random number, so then I can shoot and what have you, so we can get that. It's obviously quite a fast shoot, probably should slow the cat down maybe, but there we go. So that's a clone. It's actually quite an easy step really, going from one to the other. The other thing I'll very quickly introduce is using a basic variable, because with spam shooting we might want to have some ammunition, so that way we can say that we start with a certain amount of bullets and we run out and we could pick up extra bullets and what have you. So I'm going to add data here, make a variable, and I'm going to call it ammo. Now this is simply a name which I'm going to store a number against, so I could call this banana, or you know, like toothbrush. So if I set ammo to 100 at the start of the game, each time I create a clone I want to take off a bullet. So the instance where I actually shoot, when space keys wait 0.1 second, create clone of bullet, that's when the shoot really occurs. So I'm going to say change ammo by -1, and then I can say, there you go, so you can see that it's ticking down there quite at the rate of the bullets are going. Now what you would want if this was a regular shoot is you would want to say, well, if I run out of bullets, don't keep shooting, because you can't say, oh, I'll just IOU and give you the bullets later and I'm just going to shoot magic bullets or whatever. So the idea of having an ammo count is once it hits 0 you can't shoot. So we'll say if the space key pressed and we still have bullets, is effectively what we want to say, then allow it to shoot. So we've got an and, that's pretty straightforward. Now how do we do and have bullets? So this is where we use our greater than less than symbol. So if I say, I always put my variable on the left, and so variable, which will be ammo, so let's just dump that in there quickly. So, and ammo is greater than, because we just read from left to right, so the wide side is the side we're reading here, so it's greater than. If it was point the other way and we're reading from left to right, we'd see the pointy side first, so we'd see this one, and so it's the small side, so we'd say if ammo was less than such and such. But we want to say if ammo is greater than 0, so if it's got 1 bullet or more, allow for a shoot. So if space key pressed and ammo is greater than 0, then allow our shoot code to keep working. So let's give that a test now. So let's change this very quickly down to, it's going to minus off 5 bullets at a time because there's a lot of bullets to wait for, and then I'll put it back to normal. So then if it shoots right down, it's stopped. Cool. And even if I put this down to 1 and I want to test it, accurately, then I'll just do this. Wait by 0 seconds. Okay, so then it can go through, it's going to tick through the bullets really aggressively, and I can slow right down when it gets close to the edge case, which is 2, 1 bullet shot. It's on 0. As soon as it hits 0, now I don't even shoot on 0 bullets, it has to have at least 1. So there you go. So that there is a very simple case of using a variable. I used to think, if I want to go here and go rename the variable and call it banana, right? Okay, it's called banana. When I start the game, I have 100 banana, and when I shoot, I lose bananas, or banana. And then when I have no banana, it won't allow me to shoot. So you can see, I mean, it's quite nice how it updates all the names all for you without having to redo things, but as you can see, the behavior has nothing to do with the name. It's a name that makes sense for what you want the code to do, because if I called everything strange names and different fruit, at the end of it, if I had this guy had health and I had a certain amount of enemies that were going to respawn and I wanted certain amounts on that, I'd be like, oh yeah, as long as the bananas and the strawberries line up, as long as I have enough strawberry left over, which is health, and then I want to have at least 60 cherries come at me, which is enemies, and suddenly it becomes quite confusing as to what is what. So the reason why the names are named such is just because for us as humans to keep track of what they're doing. So there you go.